welcome to Essay Writing One-on-One with Miss Smiley. Today we are going to be talking about essay organization. I know that you hear the word essay and you die a little bit on the inside because you know you're going to have to write. But after this lesson, hopefully you'll feel a little bit better about it. Essays really aren't that bad. It's just an equation that you have to follow. But before we get to that, if you could please make sure that you have your note-taking guide for the introduction to essay, and then get a blue, green, yellow, and red colored pencil ready because you will need them for your notes. Give you like 2 seconds to get that together. And all right, let's get started. So, an essay is really just like an equation. So, E for essay equals I plus B plus C. So the I in the equation stands for introduction. Plus B for body. Plus C for conclusion. You add all of those things together, and you have an essay. So the very first piece of an essay that we're going to talk about is I, introduction. So the introduction is the very first paragraph in your essay, and the introduction is composed of 2 different things. I'm going to put intro here. So the first thing that your introduction is going to start with is the hook. That is what we consider the blues. So if you will write in on your note sheet, hook in blue. So hook is going to be the first few sentences of your introduction that's going to hook your reader and grab their attention. And then after you provide the hook, you give your thesis. Your thesis is the heart of your essay. This is where you tell your reader what it is that you're going to be talking about in your essay. So we're going to do thesis in green. Thesis is green. And a lot of the time we add on something called a plan sentence. That's where you share your plan on how your paper is going to be organized. So I'm going to write that in there. It goes along with the thesis, so it is green. So we're going to put plus plan, thesis plus plan. So your thesis and plan come together to really tell your reader what it is that they're about to read. Moving on from that, we have our body. So the body paragraphs are these 3 here. And the body paragraphs are composed of 2 different parts. The very first is called a transition sentence. The transition sentence is going to be the first sentence in each of those body paragraphs. And those would usually be yellow, but I'm going to use orange. So if you could write in yellow, transition sentence. Sentence. And one last time, transition sentence. So these sentences, again, are the first sentence of each of your body paragraphs. And these are what you use to transition your reader into talking about a new idea. So they help your paper flow a lot better, and they take you from one idea to the next. When we are using transition sentences, we oftentimes use what's called transition sets, and I'm sure that you guys have used these. You just maybe didn't know what they were called. Some common examples of a transition set, let me get it, might be first, second, third, or another one could be to begin, next, last. I will provide you guys with more transition sets in the transition module when you get there. But these are the words that we use to start our transition sentences off with to help that organization. So after we figure out what we want for our transition sentences, then we get into the E's, which stands for elaboration. And this is the second piece of a body paragraph. So body paragraph is composed of transition sentence and the E's or elaborations or the reds. So with your reds, if you will put elaboration in each of the boxes, all right, so elaboration is when you elaborate on your ideas. You explain your ideas. So this is where you give explanations, you provide examples, and you give evidence from the text. And with this specific, sorry, I'm standing in the way, with this specific paper, you are going to be required to use evidence from the text. So these reds, this elaboration, this is where you're going to pull in those quotes that you have gotten from the text to use to back up your ideas. Okay? All right, the very last piece is green again. So we go blue, green, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red, and then back to green. So the last one is your conclusion. I'll write that in black. Conclusion. So the conclusion is where you basically just wrap up your ideas, but one of the key pieces is to restate your thesis in a different way. So I'm going to write that in green, restate your thesis. And then also, it's really good to kind of summarize what you said in your body paragraph. So I'm going to add that as well. So restate thesis, summarize info from body paragraphs. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. So summarize info from body. And then the end of a good essay, switch over here. The end of a good essay usually poses some kind of question or gets the reader to think further about what it is that you'd been talking about. But we will get more into that in the conclusion module. So this is the basic organization of an essay, and hopefully after this you see that it's really not that bad. It's just these pieces that you have to put together in order to make the whole. So intro, body, conclusion. I have no doubt that you guys are going to do awesome with this. I really look forward to reading your essays. So let's get to work and happy writing.